Welcome to the Explainer. AI is totally transforming finance, right? But behind all that promise of efficiency, there's a real minefield of risk. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden biases, those really dangerous hallucinations, and talk about why in this new age of AI, human judgment is actually more critical than ever before.
All right, let's dive right in. The first big issue is this: illusion of competence. It's a huge perception gap that's creating some serious risk. Basically, when it comes to using AI, a whole lot of us think we're way better at it than we actually are. So, get this. A recent study found that 54% of people, that's more than half, believe they're proficient with AI. There's this massive sense of confidence out there. People really feel like they've got a handle on these new tools.
But, and this is the kicker, when researchers actually looked at the work those same people produced, the reality was pretty stark. Only about 10% were truly proficient. So you've got this huge, gaping chasm between how good we think we are and how good we actually are.
And that gap, that's the danger zone. It's precisely where these catastrophic financial mistakes are being made. So it really boils down to one critical question for any leader, for any investor out there. What are the real, tangible risks that you need to get your head around, like right now? Okay, so the first major threat we have to talk about, it's not some kind of sci-fi technical glitch. It's a deeply, deeply human problem that's just being amplified and automated by technology. And that problem is algorithmic bias. Yeah, it actually has a name: digital redlining. And what it means is this: you take an AI, you train it on decades of our own historical financial data, and what happens? It learns and then it automates all of our own societal biases in things like lending, housing, you name it. And here's the thing you have to understand. The AI isn't trying to be biased. It's not evil, it's just a mirror. So if the data we feed it is full of historical discrimination, like denying loans based on zip codes, which for decades was a proxy for race, well, the model just learns that pattern. It assumes that's the right way to make a decision. And listen, this isn't some theoretical what-if problem. This is happening now. Regulators are already all over it. We've seen landmark lawsuits against huge companies like Meta and SafeRent, and they prove one thing. Our existing anti-discrimination laws, they absolutely apply to algorithms, and firms are being held financially accountable. All right, let's shift gears to the second major threat. And this one comes from a really basic misunderstanding of what AI actually is and how it thinks. Honestly, this is where things start to get a little weird. Here's the most important thing to remember. A large language model, or LLM, has zero real intelligence, no understanding. It's basically a super advanced pattern matcher, a master statistician. It's not reasoning. It's just calculating the probability of what word comes next. And that contrast right there reveals a fundamental conflict, doesn't it? An LLM's only goal is to sound plausible, to sound coherent. But a human expert's goal? It's to be factually accurate and ethically responsible. That core design difference, well, it leads to a really dangerous phenomenon. We call it an AI hallucination. And please remember this. This is not a bug in the system. It's a fundamental feature of how these things work. The AI literally invents facts, fabricates legal precedents, or just makes up data out of thin air. And it presents it all with the exact same level of confidence as if it were gospel truth. Let me give you a perfect real-world example. An investigation was done where they fed several major AI chatbots a question that had a deliberate mistake in it, something about the UK's ISA investment limit. Now, did the AI correct the user? Nope. It just confidently spit out detailed and completely illegal financial advice based on the user's wrong number. That's advice that could lead to some serious tax penalties for anyone who followed it. This kind of behavior has led some critics to come up with a really powerful metaphor for it. They call the AI an algorithmic sociopath. Think about it. It has a goal, to answer your question, but it has absolutely no conscience, no empathy, no concept of consequences. It will tell you a complete lie with the exact same smooth, confident tone it uses to tell you the truth. So, okay, if the machine can't be trusted with actual judgment, then what's the role for the human expert? What makes them irreplaceable in this new world? And that really brings us to the core question, right? The big one at the intersection of tech and finance. Can you actually program a conscience? Can code have a moral compass? The entire foundation of financial advice is built on something called fiduciary duty. It's a legal and ethical obligation to act in the best interests of your client. It's all about trust, loyalty, care. It's about putting someone else first. And that is a profoundly human concept.
There's this fantastic framework for thinking about this called the human calibration theory, and it makes a brilliant point. The best financial advice isn't just the one that's mathematically optimal, it's the advice that a client will actually stick with. And for that to happen, you need a human being, someone who can understand fear, ambition, and context, and translate all that raw data into a strategy that actually fits a person's life.
To put it simply, AI calculates, humans calibrate. The role of the expert isn't going away, it's actually being elevated. The job is now to take these incredibly powerful calculations from the AI and then calibrate them with human wisdom, empathy, and just plain old real-world context.
Okay, so given these pretty clear and present dangers, what's the solution? What practical steps can your organization actually take to use AI safely and responsibly?
Well, it really comes down to a two-pronged approach. First, you need technical guardrails. We're talking about things like RAG, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation. It basically tethers the AI to a verified internal knowledge base, so it can only pull answers from your own trusted data, which stops it from making things up. And second, you need procedural guardrails. The absolute most critical one is enforcing a strict human-in-the-loop policy.
When it comes down to it, the future isn't some fully automated bot. It's the augmented advisor. They're going to use this tech as an incredibly powerful tool, but they will always remain the ultimate steward of their client's trust. That part is not up for automation.
And that really leaves us with a final, kind of profound thought here, which I think perfectly sums up the danger we've been talking about.
So as you go out and scale your business with AI, you have to ask yourself, are we building genuine expertise or just a very convincing illusion of it? The real challenge isn't just adopting AI, it's doing it with wisdom. It's about making sure we use this technology to enhance human knowledge and deepen trust, not just to build a flawless but ultimately hollow imitation. Thanks for watching.